All right, guys, today we're going to talk about a topic that I see a lot of players make mistakes with, okay? Even some good players make this common mistake, and it has to do with your bridge hand, okay? Now, let's get into some different bridges, and then I'll go into the common mistake. Actually, I'll do a scenario and I want you to tell me what the mistake is, okay? Let's get into it. All right, there are many different types of bridges you need. If you're a beginner, you're probably just trying to figure out how to keep a steady bridge and not make it wobble, okay? However, the bridge hand is such an integral part of the stroke of the shot, okay? If your bridge is all over the place, you don't have anything going on, your bridge hand's just going to move all over the place. If you don't know how to do a proper closed bridge, it's going to move all over the place. So come on in here. Let's get a little close up of a couple bridges, okay? So this would be your plain Jane open bridge, okay? Plant your hand, squeeze your thumb, make an arch right in here. Come on in, right in here. Squeeze your thumb up to, try to touch your thumb to your pointer knuckle, okay? Bang. So the bridge is staying the same. Squeeze. We got a bridge now, okay? You see where I'm hitting the cue ball with this bridge? Okay. You can also do that bridge and put two fingers back and just make like the horn symbol, the rock on symbol. And you can do that type of bridge as well. It's more steady. It doesn't move around, okay? Mine's pretty steady anyways. You do want to try to touch your palm on the table as well as your fingers to make it steady, okay? Steady Eddie. It's stable, right? Okay? It's not going to move, okay? If it's like this, floating in the air, you're going to move, okay? When you go to stroke, your hand might move. It's going to make a difference in where your tip contacts the ball, okay? Closed bridge, all right? There's many different ways to do the closed bridge. Put your fingers like this, make a C. If you're left-handed, you're going to make a C, and just wrap that around. Spread your fingers out. I like to turn my hand slightly sideways to the shot, so my hand is kind of facing this way. It's not facing the shot, okay? Like this, all right? So there are many different ways, though. If I'm shooting up over a ball, I might probably be up like this, okay? So sometimes people like to put a tripod, one finger back in their bridge to make it a little more stable, okay? I generally don't. I have big fingers. I try to spread those fingers, two in the front, two in the back, okay? And I don't use the tripod. There, now I'm shooting up over a ball. Okay, I got lots of clearance space, and my bridge is stable, okay? If you like, try to get used to the tripod coming back. So there's a finger in the back, okay? That works as well. I don't do that because I have big hands, and I feel very stable like this if we're shooting over a ball. Okay, so closed bridge, you want to wrap that around, not squeeze too tight, okay? Sometimes, like I said, I do a closed bridge and I go up high like this. I try to make my stable bridge with my other three fingers, okay? 1, 2, 3, that's stable. Now I can do a closed bridge, okay? So the big mistake that a lot of players make is this. Can you tell? Okay, so I'm going to shoot this with center ball. All right, actually I'll use an open bridge for this example. All right, shooting it with center ball right here. Okay, oh, then I say at the last second, I'm going to play bottom. And I go like this. Okay, now my tip is lining up for the bottom. Okay, all right, so we got some backspin on it. What was the mistake? Actually, there's two mistakes there. First off, if you decide to play a shot differently, you should stand up, reset, and go back down, because even changing how you're going to execute a shot potentially changes the whole shot and the aiming process as well. Okay, so just get back up, get back down. Okay, I'm not going to go into how to step into your shot, how to use your head, your grip, your foot, your footing should be on the shooting line, all that kind of stuff. But you should get back up if you're going to change the spin. The big mistake, though, number two, is I didn't adjust my bridge hand. I kept my bridge the same. All I did was I lifted up my backhand to bring the tip down. You see this? Okay, here's a center ball shot. I lift up my backhand, and now I'm elevated about 10 or 15 degrees. Okay, so I went like from here to try to get that backspin on it. Not good. You want to keep a level cue as much as possible. Yes, you have a higher table rail here. So some shots where you're dealing with a table rail, no, you're not going to be able to keep a fully level cue. As level as possible, guys. Okay, why is that? You're actually going to get more spin when you're trying to get either high action or low action with a level cue. You're also going to get more accuracy. If you have an elevated cue and you hit even 1/4 of a tip off center to the left or to the right, you're also going to get some deflection and some swerve depending on how hard you hit it. Okay, it's going to make you miss shots with that little elevation. Level as possible. Now, so what should I have done there when I wanted to execute backspin? Should I have kept my same bridge, elevated my backhand to bring the tip down? No. Lower the bridge. You should have at least 3 heights of an open bridge and a closed bridge, okay? I'm going to use an open one. If I want to play backspin, I'm as low as possible. Now, I got fat, thick fingers. So for me to get as low as possible, I actually have to extend my bridge length a little bit so that I can get as low and as level as possible, okay? Because my fingers are probably twice as thick as a lot of players. Big hands, okay? So, all right, here is a bottom open bridge, so a draw shot, okay? If I want to play center ball, I've just lifted up my bridge now to make center ball contact, okay? So let's zoom in here. Let's get this, okay? Draw shot. I'm as low as possible, okay? With my finger size, I'm as low as possible. You see that? Okay. Now, I'm going to just bring my hand in, and if I want to play a center ball with an open bridge, there. I've just raised, my cue is level, I've just raised my bridge. If I want to play topspin, okay, there, I've just highered it, I raised it just a little bit more. So now I'm hitting the top of the cue ball without changing any elevation. Okay, that shot came right off the back of the pocket because I hit it a little bit too hard. So, at least 3 different height of bridges. Yes, you can do that with the closed bridge as well. Okay, I got bigger hands, so that's about as low as I can go with a closed bridge. So if I'm going to play backspin with a closed bridge, I do have to elevate a bit. So, big hands, it's nothing you can do. Okay, and now you can come up with the closed bridge as well. Okay, up to center ball. You can come up to like a top high action top spin shot. Okay, raise the front hand. Don't alter the backhand. Okay, so there are some instances if you're playing left and right spin where backhand English does have a good effect. Okay, all right, but you don't want to be out here. Obviously, if anything, you just want to move just a touch. I don't recommend that. I tend to play front hand English, but there are many good players that do actually implement some backhand English when they're playing left and right spin. Don't do that when you're playing high action and low action on the cue ball. Adjust your bridge height. Adjust your bridge hand. Get comfortable with several different types of bridges. Really just experiment. Watch some videos on it if you want. Watch some players. See how they bridge, okay? The best players in the world have some very unique and very stable bridges with their hands, okay? You don't want to be all your, resting on two fingers trying to shoot over a ball and have only two fingers touching and no crease for your cue to slide and glide in, okay? You don't want to be like this. My cue's all over the place. Okay? If anything, you got to get that comfortable, um, all four fingers on, okay? You want to get that crease in between your thumb right here and your pointer finger. Get as much of a crease, even when you're shooting up over a ball. And when you're shooting over a ball, there's no need to go up like this. Even if you're almost touching, you still don't need to go up like this. Okay? Make sure you chalk up, get that stable bridge, and then level out as much as possible. Okay? And there we go. We got the bank shot there, all right? Okay, so adjust your bridge hand, front hand English when you're playing up. Front hand English when you're playing any kind of spin, whether it be left, right. Okay, so front hand English, you're going to move your hand to the left, move your hand to the right, depending on which English you want to play. If I want to play right spin, I'm center ball right now. I'm going to move my hand to the right. Now I'm playing right spin. And you can see the cue ball came off to my right. All right. So it's no different when you're playing high and low, guys. Adjust the bridge hand. Get used to the bridge hand. Get it stable and practice different heights. When I teach students this, sometimes their minds are blown because they've always just, they kept their same bridge and they've just went like this to try to get backspin. They've just lifted up their backhand. Don't do that, guys. It's going to cost you. Sometimes you won't even get as much spin. Why? Because you've just jumped the cue ball. The cue ball came off the table. You might not even see it, but it's in the air. And when it hits that ball, it's going to bounce, and that spin isn't going to catch. It's going to be delayed, and sometimes you can come out, and then it's going to come a different direction once the backspin actually catches, okay? So that's good if you're trying to do it, if you're trying to create a new line, okay, to get some shaper or a breakout or something. But if you're not trying to do that, and you don't realize what's happening, it's only going to make you miss shots, and it's going to make you miss shape. And when you miss shape, you're not going to get out. You're not going to get the W. Your opponent's going to get the W, okay? So, yeah, you keep that cue level as possible, okay? All right? So if you're shooting a shot, with the rail here, you're not going to get fully level, but you can get close. If you bring your bridge hand back a little bit more, even with big hands, I can get pretty darn level with my cue, okay? It gives me some extra leverage. If the pivot point is further back, you can kind of level out the stroke a lot more than if I was right here. So if I was right here and I try to get backspin, even with my lowest bridge possible, I have to elevate, okay? So back if you're trying to get backspin, okay? If you're trying to get backspin and your hand is as low as it can go, give yourself some space, move the pivot point back at least a foot from the cue ball, all right? So practice those bridges, learn how to raise it to at least 3 different levels, whether it be an open or a closed, 3 different levels, backspin, center, and high action, and you're well on your way to getting those W's. All right, talk soon.